All right, friends, I am here to do a layout that I'm kind of excited about. I am doing one for Challenge Accepted, and we're concentrating on Scraptastic inspiration for this week. And I am also going to go ahead. We are doing kind of a challenge where we had to do, each of us in our groups had to come up with something that started with PRSTW, kind of going along the alphabet, and then they got switched to another group. So I need to do photo corners, rainbow, sky, tissue paper, and white. Okay? And what I'm going to use also is from ScrapSquad. I'm going to be scrap lifting this layout right here, which is super simplified. So I'm telling you, I bet this is going to go quick. All right, so what I ended up pulling was for the rainbow part. Photo corners are easy. I had a little box of Heidi Swap photo corners right over there on my Lazy Susan. Then I had rainbow, which was from this great crepe paper collection, All Heart. It is called BU. So I have that. And then I needed sky. So I looked in my kit, and this is also from crepe paper, but look in these little strips, there's two different sky pieces. And I originally started cutting it out, and I'm like, oh, I'll just cut the little bits. And then I liked the way they looked as kind of like film strips. So I think I'm really just gonna pop them down. Tissue paper. Voila, tissue paper. And then white. There's going to be white in several places on this page, and also in the photo my mother is wearing white. So this is her realizing that she went out in public with something on her shirt. I'm like, Mom, what's that? She's like, oh no, what did I do? So that is what the photo is. We took my mom to a new brewery this past weekend, and it was very, very cool there. And it's actually in an old factory where one of my elementary schools was, and it's where a bunch of my friends' fathers worked. So I thought that was kind of a cool place to take the mom. So we did, and it was very nice. It was a nice little outing, not a big deal, wasn't planned, which somehow is how a lot of nice things happen, is when you really don't try to make that big of a deal out of it. You know, it just kind of organically happens, and that's fine. Good stuff. So I had this little scrap piece of paper here. See, I used the other side of this before, and I really like it. So I think I'm also going to use that. So I'm supposed to be having my pictures go kind of like this, but mine are gonna kind of ooze out just a little bit. So let me go ahead and trim this. Remember, I have to get the photo corners on there. I have white. Oh, and I need tissue paper. So I'm probably going to have to back these with tissue paper. So let me go ahead and trim them out really quickly. Since this one's going to be so quick, because the design that I'm scrap lifting is pretty simplified, let's see if I'm going to end up making this real time. I'm not sure, but we're going to see how this evolves. If I feel like I'm hemming and hawing just a little bit too much, then I will go ahead and fast forward it, because you know, I'm not going to torture anybody with my long drawn out process of things. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes not so much, if you know how that goes. Let's see. So white was one of them, and I don't know if I'm going to use all of these cards. Like, I'm not feeling this one. So maybe I'll go ahead and just pop that up on white, like so. And yes, I know we're supposed to be very excited about our 3x4 cards, but doesn't mean I always like them. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's better to use them instead of just storing them for half of a lifetime. At least that's what I think. Let's see if there's another one that's, see, I'm not crazy about that, so I'll flip it over, use that one as well. And this is giving me that white that I am supposed to use in my layout. So there we go. And over to the side, when you don't see me for a second, that is just because I'm using a paper trimmer. And for some reason, I'm standing up right now, and I don't even know what that's about. So, you know what? Since my mother is facing this way in both of them, if I can, nope, it's gonna wreck that. I was gonna say I'd prefer to have my layout over here, but it is attached, and so it will be what it will be, but she's gonna be pretty centered then. All right, so since I want to do that, I need, for myself, not for anybody else, I think I don't need that much of that paper. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down a little bit. And then get my little T-square. I just wanted a strong bit of color on here. I don't know why. I think it's just because I had the scrap piece left over and I liked it. So yeah, not even rolling through with a design principle. I think the principle is called I like it. See, that's why I wanted to have something that was actually squared up, because these are on such an angle. Okay, so I have white is behind the photos. And all right, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward because I don't even know what my title is. I just realized that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. So I decided to go ahead and grab some of this pale blue tissue paper out. That's gonna be one of the layers for one of the photos that I have for this layout. And I'm just really folding it up. I'm not necessarily trying to make it any certain perfect size, shape, etc. It's just going to be matting the photo and also giving it just a little bit of lift. This isn't like it's any big momentous occasion. It's just a moment in life that you realize is a pretty good moment. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put that on, and this entire layout is gonna, for the most part, be finished up using a bunch of the crepe paper stuff. I mean, for the most part, it's crepe paper stuff, but it's really going to be concentrating on going up and down. What am I trying to say? It's pretty much going to be linear on top of the photos as things go. So I do have my photo corners chosen. I'm going to put them on either side of the upper photo, and so there's blue on the lower photo as well as the upper photo. I'm trimming the excess that I had hanging off the top and the bottom because it's starting to bug me a little bit. I know it really doesn't matter, but that kind of stuff can like keep distracting me and keep me from just creating, which is what I'm supposed to be doing. So the kit that I was using had these really great chipboard pieces with these feminine looking hands, and I decided to use both of them in this layout because you see my mother's hands. The first one's kind of like a peace sign or it's okay or whatever. And then the lower, or the second hand, I'll be putting the second hand lower on this. And I'm going to go ahead, my title I believe will just be Oh No in these alphas. These foam alphas, I really, really like them. A little tricky to use because of the pink color, but, you know, not that tricky. The only problem is they're kind of big and chunky, and there's not a ton on in the packaging. There's just not a ton of them. So you really, even though I've only used them a little bit, you really have to watch what you decide to spell. And I also realized there wasn't any punctuation. Not a big deal, but just something I noticed. So I went ahead also and grabbed out a couple of these cute little foamy stars out to put them in 3 places on the layout. If I can with alphas, I really like doing that because it brings the eye around for that color. You saw right there, there are these great little fringy, what are those called? They're like, I'd call them deedle hoppers. That's clearly, they're not a deedle hopper. Anywho, I didn't use them. Really like them. I used them on a different layout recently. This is the cardstock sticker sheet from that collection, and I've gotten some pretty good traction on that already. I've only done a couple layouts so far from this Hip Kit Club kit, but it's kind of fun. Like, it's serious and whimsical as well, so you can kind of let it direct you along the way. I don't know, like my papers, that look like the film strip, they look a little bit more serious, but then all the pieces on here, it's like the funny cat giving the side eye look on these shiny puffy stickers. I mean, it's just a really fun, interesting mix. So I'm going to go ahead now and make 2 different bows from these great little Hip Kit Club exclusive bows. So the the white with black polka dotted little bow there, I decided to use a strip of that stripy paper that I had cut off because I wanted to bring a little bit more pink in. And I also liked that they were like fabric-y, canvasy bows with paper on there. So 2 different textures. I was kind of digging on that. So I went in that direction with it. Now, this kit also came with a full pack of these Simple Stories little stickers, and I am an absolute sucker for these cute little tiny words in there. That may be all I've used so far from these stickers, but they're a very bright white with little tiny black words on them, and they add just that little something extra that you need on your layouts. So I went ahead and put those words into 3 different places on the layout. Now, this sentiment that you see me putting right there, I found it to be just a little too long for the spot that I wanted to put it in. So I went ahead and just cut it up and stacked it. And what you see there is I have these little sequins came in this pack as well. And I am determined to actually use up within a kit sequins when they come with something. My sequins just seem to multiply somehow, and I never use any up. So at some point, if I don't get these fully used up, I will go ahead and just put them into a shaker card or something like that. I'm going to be wrapping up this layout with just sprinkling 3 different colors of these sequins around in 3 different sections on the page, and that will be about it. It's linear and it's fun and it's simple. So that's a layout for today. So please go ahead and like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I would appreciate it ever so much. Thank you.